Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. Today on Spotlight, we're focusing on the Agricultural Finance Support Program, or Agro-Incentive Grant. And joining us is the Chief Executive Officer of NAMDEVCO, Miss Nirmala Devi Singh. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you with us on the show this morning. Thank you for waking up so early. And looking forward to the conversation now, specifically the Agro-Incentive Grant Programme. Can you provide an overview of it and also why it was created?
So the overview of the program, it's an incentive to stimulate greater investment in the agriculture sector, whether it be on farm production, whether it be value added or agro-processing, or whether it be further processing in order to meet market requirements and to stimulate increased production of our local commodities in the sector. But it doesn't only pertain to fruits and vegetables. It goes on to livestock, poultry, honey production, and even as far as forestry. So anything and everything that encompasses the agriculture sector, this grant is geared towards further development of those commodities within the sector.
Interesting. What do you need to be eligible for this?
To be eligible, you need to have, of course, your registration status up to date with the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries. You need to have tenure of your land, of your farm holdings. You need to have a business plan, which is a simple document telling the committee or the evaluation committee what it is you intend to do. Why will this grant benefit you in terms of meeting your market demands? And you also need, of course, by way of the form, you need to have it stamped by a commissioner of affidavits. So it's quite simple. Of course, you would need to support your justification for the funds that you're applying for with the use of quotations. So these are some of the basic documents that will be required to apply for the grant.
Oh, so when you say quotations, normally the standard will be 3 quotations. Is that what you work with, or you can just come with one?
You can just come with one specific to what it is you would like to do on your farm or on your enterprise to be able to apply for the grant.
And you also mentioned registration status, so that would be being registered with NAMDEVCO or the ministry?
The Ministry of Agriculture or any other recognized authority. So if you're a farmer, you should have an updated farmer's badge. If you're a fisherman, you must have your fisherman registration status updated. Forestry personnel, same thing. You must have all of your registration status updated. Likewise for poultry, likewise for the honey sector. But it doesn't only apply to applicants in Trinidad, of course. It applies to applicants in Tobago too. So, it's all-encompassing for any citizen of Trinidad and Tobago to apply.
Okay, and NAMDEVCO, now speaking about being all-encompassing, I know NAMDEVCO is represented on the evaluating committee for this program. What is the reason why NAMDEVCO is there? What's the contribution?
So by virtue of Act 16 of 1991, which is the act that governs the operations of NAMDEVCO, our mandate is to create, facilitate and maintain an environment conducive to efficient and effective marketing of agricultural produce. And these simple words, create, maintain, and have that environment for the development of foods. It means that we are there to create that marketing opportunity, that sustainable and economically viable marketing opportunity where we link the producer, whether it be a primary producer or producer in an agro-processing facility, or a producer on a livestock farm, a honey farm, a forestry personnel. We link that primary producer to the markets, to the final buyer or to an intermediary buyer. And it is important that we are there because we can advise on good agricultural practices, which are some of the techniques, which are some of the management systems that you need on farm. We can link persons who are GMP certified, HACCP certification. So these levels of certification can now allow you to establish sustained market linkages with your buyers, and that also makes it economically viable for you as an entrepreneur. Whether you treat your farm as the enterprise, whether you treat your business place as the enterprise, this is what the market opportunities does. NAMDEVCO is the custodian of a lot of information in relation to what the market requires for sustainability. what are the buyers requiring, and not only local buyers. We're also familiar with the entry requirements and the market requirements for regional and international buyers. So for example, we have a packing house facility that's located in Piaco. That packing house facility is US FDA registered. It is also registered under the Barbados Trade Protocol. So let us say, for example, you have an interest in supplying a regional market, or you have an interest in supplying an international market. In this case, the US, it can be Canada, or it can be Europe. We are familiar with the market entry requirements, so that when you apply for the grant and you are given the grant and you are utilizing that funding now to develop your enterprise, whether you want to reduce your cost of production, or whether you want to develop a brand new product to meet a market requirement, whether you want to do better what you are doing to reduce your cost of production, we can now help you to take that product and improve it to meet market requirements, so that you can sustain continuous entry into those markets of your choice.
From what you're saying, there's this assistance for so many different facets of the business and guidance as well. But what about projects? Are there any specific projects to enhance, let's say, market access for agro-processors?
So there are many projects at this point in time. As I would have mentioned, the Piaco Packing House. We also have a market facilitation department where buyers and sellers can meet either in a virtual space or a physical space. We do that level of market linkages. We also provide price and volume data on a daily basis, where policymakers, primary producers, agro-processors can have access to information that they can make a sustained business decision. We also, on a every month, we publish data in terms of 3-month projections of what you can expect coming out of the farms. So we also have a farm certification and monitoring program. That program monitors just over 3,800 farmers in the country, out of a possible approximately 25,000 farmers. But we are able to capture data on a 3-month basis, so we can postulate the production coming out of those 3,800 farms every 3 months, so that if you're a business enthusiast, and let us say you are producing a value-added product where one of your major raw materials is a local agricultural commodity, whether it's fish, whether it's eggs, whether it's chicken, whether it's a fruit or a vegetable, you can actually identify data to show where that production is, how much is coming out, so you can make sustained business decisions in developing your business opportunities going forward. But also too, that it should be economically viable to you. So we have facilities where you can process. We have facilities where you can get data to make business decisions. But we also have implemented ICTs into everything that we do. We've developed technologies so that now we get data from the farms real time using ICTs. I mean, we're using geotagging data. We are now populating our databases real time in terms of price and volume data. And even we are developing a traceability system from our packing house, from the farm to the packing house, to the point of final destination, whichever is your point of sale. We are building ICTs into everything that we're doing to make ease of doing business transactions much easier.
It sounds like there's definitely a digitization push which will be beneficial to the market and also is going to promote longevity. And speaking of longevity for farmers and of course for NAMDEVCO, what can we look forward to in the future?
So we do have some exciting projects in the future. One of the things that we're doing, we're making available additional spaces for trading at our southern wholesale market. Another thing that we're doing is we are building the first of its kind ripening facility in the east of this country. The primary product of choice based on, and this is statistical market data, tomato prices have always been peaks and valleys in this country. The idea behind the development of this ripening facility is for us to be able to store tomatoes utilizing a special technology, no additives or preservatives. We're just going to be manipulating temperature and humidity and the composition of the air in those storage chambers. We're attempting to store tomatoes for approximately 3 months in the first instance and allow farmers and ripen it using gaseous ethylene, and then allow farmers to market their product. So that ripening facility, the product does not belong to NAMDEVCO, it will belong to the farmer, but we will be introducing the technology so that we can store and always continuously have approximately 150,000 pounds of tomatoes in the first instant on the market, so that it doesn't create those vagaries and price and volume destabilization where prices have the opportunity to go up.
Well, unfortunately, we've run out of time, and I hope that we can have you on again to continue the conversation here, because it seems quite positive. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Ms. Namali Devi Singh here with us this morning, CEO of NAMDEVCO, sharing the Agro-Incentive Grant Programme. Stay tuned, there's more coming up after this break. Take me to a